Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling has been in the public eye for so long now, and it's not even out yet. The most recent news is about Chris Pine's character, or actually the person it's based on. The role Pine's playing isn't a good guy, so naturally the inspiration isn't a great guy either, but he's still glad they've picked someone handsome to play him, and that's kinda unfortunate. Who are we talking about? Let's find out. First off, who's the infamous inspiration for Frank's character? Jordan Peterson, who was born in Alberta, rose to prominence in 2016 after he released a series of videos criticizing legislation that added gender identity and expression to the Human Rights Act and Criminal Code as grounds for discrimination. By 2018, Peterson had retired from his practice as a psychologist and transformed himself into a provocative commentator on politics, gender, and philosophy, gaining legions of fans along the way. He wrote 2 best-selling books before mysteriously disappearing for several months, only to return with the explanation that he was seeking treatment for benzodiazepine addiction in Russia, where he was placed in a coma. While details about Don't Worry Darling are scarce, a scene in the film's trailer suggests Pine's character, Frank, has similarities to Peterson. In this scene, the character asks another what the enemy of progress is, and the answer is chaos. This is a direct reference to the subtitle of Peterson's first book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote for Chaos. But this isn't the first time Peterson served as the model for a fictional villain. In 2021, his philosophy appeared in Marvel's Captain America comic as well. The villain, Red Skull, was touting his 10 rules for life and going on about chaos and order. Many viewers and critics took this as an undeniable nod to Peterson's ideology. Regarding this, the psychologist said the probability of this being mere chance approached 0, even though Marvel hadn't confirmed anything about the inspiration for the character. Coming up, what exactly did Olivia Wilde say about him? Olivia Wilde recently stated that Chris Pine's character in her upcoming film Don't Worry Darling is based on the much-lauded and mocked Canadian psychologist and writer Jordan Peterson. Pine's character Frank is the leader of a utopian desert community in Wilde's psychological thriller. He will share the stage with Harry Styles and Florence Pugh, who are playing a 1950s couple living an idyllic life in an experimental community with sinister secrets about its past. The director recently spoke with Maggie Gyllenhaal about Frank's character. She explained that they based the character on Jordan Peterson, who's like this pseudo-intellectual hero in the incel community. His following is mainly disenfranchised white men who believe that they have a right to sex with women. They also believe that society has now robbed them, that the concept of feminism is at odds with nature, and we must be returned to our proper place. Wilde went on to add that these people have been succeeding in a variety of ways, but Jordan Peterson legitimizes aspects of their movement because he's an academic, an author, and he wears a suit. Because of this very put-together image of a dignified, successful man, they feel like this philosophy is real and should be taken seriously. Peterson's been receiving a lot of attention for the past 5 to 6 years due to his controversial and debatable views on cultural and political issues that appeal to young white men who've got an alt-right political leaning. Next up, was he pleased by the casting? Well, he had some reservations about this whole situation. He was pleased with the casting, given that Chris Pine is iconic for being good-looking. In a statement to the National Post, the psychologist talked about Pine's reputation as an attractive man, praising Wilde's choice of the actor as it could have been a bad casting, but he was lucky enough to be represented by a heartthrob. However, he wasn't too excited about being used as the image of a bad guy in the film, claiming that these woke, self-righteous bores and bullies who've dominated Hollywood are trying to spread harmful propaganda about him. In addition to this, he commented on his particular style of dressing and hoped Pine would at least do the sartorial splendor of his very formal public wardrobe justice. Seems like he's just waiting to see how the 42-year-old actor portrays his personality on the screen. The idea of an attractive villain has been debated over in the past, as it gives a partially positive aspect to the character that's being used to show bad morals. We can only hope people will look beyond the Star Trek star's ruggedly handsome looks and absorb the message under that facade of a well-dressed intellectual. Now, what more did he have to say to Olivia Wilde? In the same interview with the National Post, he talked more about his qualifications to disprove what Wilde had said about him, to make her look uninformed. He listed his achievements, noting that he's currently Professor Emeritus at the University of Toronto. This is an even bigger deal as it means he's a member of one of the top 15 psychology departments in the world. He also mentioned the importance of his author and co-authorship of more than 100 objectively influential research papers. Achievements which have been recognized by academics are there to validate his stature career as an intellectual. To top it all off, he's taught and conducted research at McGill and Harvard, and in his opinion, the tenure remained successful at both. This answer back to the director served the singular purpose of making her look dumb in her opinions of him, given that he's an objectively smart person. However, that's exactly the kind of thing he's used to gather a cult following of men that hang on to his every word. They believe in his philosophy because of his credentials, so it makes sense that he felt the need to list them down again. How else would the world know that Wilde is in the wrong? Let's move on to other news. Well, this was all for Jordan Peterson. It's not the end of the video yet. We're going to share some fresh updates from the cast of Don't Worry Darling, starting with Harry Styles. Did he spit on Chris Pine or not? The entire online world was taken over after a video from the Venice Film Festival surfaced. This video showed Harry Styles walking up to his seat, and before he sat down, he spat right in Chris Pine's lap. Given the context of this video, with all the drama that's been happening on the set of this film and in between the cast, fans didn't take a second to think twice about it and ran with it. Memes were made, edits were posted, it was all anyone could talk about. However, Harry himself made an effort to quell the rumors during his recent concert in New York as part of his Love on Tour. He paused between songs to appreciate the city, where he said, "This is our 10th show at Madison Square Gardens. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to be back in New York." The video continued with him making a joke by saying that he'd popped very quickly to Venice to spit on Chris Pine. His acknowledgement of the situation in the form of a joke made it all seem very trivial and silly. Furthermore, Pine's team has also made a formal statement elaborating on the ridiculousness of the story. While these statements and jokes might quell the rumors, it doesn't mean the fans will necessarily believe that it didn't happen. Moving on, Florence and Chris will be missing out on some major PR events. After the film's recent grand opening at the Venice Film Festival, Florence Pugh and Chris Pine will, reportedly, not be walking the red carpet at the New York City premiere of Don't Worry Darling. The couple will also miss the Q&A session on September 19th, which is said to give audiences a first look at the film 4 days before it hits theaters. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers has confirmed to Rolling Stone that the Little Women actress, 26, will be unable to attend the Q&A session in New York with the rest of the cast due to her hectic filming schedule. According to the production company, Pugh has to be filming for Dune Part 2 in Budapest. Well, this news would be understandable in any other situation. Given the feuds and multiple dramas this cast has seen, it's no wonder fans think something else is at play here. Lastly, Florence has an extra bit of appreciation for Chris Pine. Despite all the rumors surrounding the feuds between this cast, the Midsummer star has remained quiet about it all. In fact, she kept things light in an appreciation post for the cast and crew after the Venice Film Festival. She lauded every member of the team for their efforts, but gave a specific shout out to Chris Pine for being bloody cute and hilarious, for crouching on his white pressed trousered knees to take pictures of her on the red carpet. Well, there's nothing more to this. We can't help but wonder if there really is something special between the two. And that's a wrap. What do you think about the inspiration behind Pine's role? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.